These days when I grow up, I'm gonna make love to you. I'm 16 now.
Welcome to another broadcast of comics and pop culture shorts. This is our tribute to the late Olivia Newton John. Today, we'll look at her acting career. Newton John was born to Bryn Newton John and Irene Helene. Her father was born in Wales, to a middle-class family. Her mother was born in Germany, and had come to the UK with her family in 1933 to escape the Nazi regime. Dame Olivia Newton John was born on September 26, 1948 and passed away August 8, 2022, was a British-Australian singer, songwriter, actress, and activist. She was a four-time Grammy Award winner whose music career included 5 #1 hits and another 10 top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, and 2 #1 albums on the Billboard 200, If You Love Me, Let Me Know, 1974, and Have You Never Been Mellow, 1975. 11 of her singles and 14 of her albums have been certified gold by the Recording Industry Association of America. With global sales of more than 100 million records, Newton John is one of the best-selling music artists from the second half of the 20th century to the present. She became a regular on local Australian television shows, including Time for Terry and HSV7's The Happy Show.
You sure sound good, and I must thank you for making me feel so welcome out here. It is fantastic to see all your smiling faces.
On television, she would have several music specials and appear on shows like Saturday Night Live and Timeless Tales from Hallmark. In addition to music shows, she began an acting career which included appearances on The Man from Snowy River, Ned and Stacy and Murphy Brown.
Olivia? We have a bid on the floor for $700 from Olivia Newton John.
Her film debut would be, you guessed it, in a musical. 1965's A Funny Thing Happened Down Under, that would lead to the 1970 science fiction musical Tomorrow. James Bond film producer Harry Saltzman entered into a 3-picture deal with Don Kirshner. Kirshner had been the initial producer of the musical output from the Monkees. However, according to director Val Guest, Kirshner and Saltzman grew to loathe each other during the increasingly troubled production. After the debacle that was Tomorrow, it would be 8 more years before she did another movie, but this time it would be the biggest movie of her career, Grease with John Travolta, a 1978 American musical romantic comedy film based on the 1971 musical of the same name by Jim Jacobs and Warren Casey. Written by Bronte Woodard and directed by Randall Kleiser in his theatrical feature film debut, the film depicts the lives of greaser Danny Zuko and Australian transfer student Sandy Olsen, who develop an attraction for each other during a summer romance.
Sandy?
Released on June 16, 1978, Grease was successful both critically and commercially, becoming the highest-grossing musical film ever at the time. Its soundtrack album ended 1978 as the second best-selling album of the year in the United States, behind the soundtrack of the 1977 blockbuster Saturday Night Fever, which also starred Travolta, and earned an Oscar nomination for Hopelessly Devoted to You at the 51st Academy Awards. After that, she would star in Xanadu, which was a box office disappointment, but she would co-star with one of her idols Gene Kelly and score 3 top 20 hits from the soundtrack, including the title cut, Magic and Suddenly, a duet with Cliff Richard. Then she re-teamed with John Travolta for the box office flop Two of a Kind.
This is my nomination for the single worst major movie of the holiday season. Stars John Travolta and Olivia Newton John teamed up for their first time since their big hit in Grease, which was a dumb but entertaining movie, and this time they've just made a dumb movie.
The title cut would become her last top 5 hit. She would appear in several made-for-TV movies, and in 1996 she was in It's My Party, which was a true story about an AIDS victim who would have one last fling before his death, starring Eric Roberts and Margaret Cho. In 2000 she appeared in Sordid Lives from director Del Shores, which was inspired by the play and events in his own life. In 2010 she did One in a Minute, which was a docudrama that dealt with people living with cancer. She was also in A Few Best Men is a 2011 comedy film written by Dean Craig and directed by Stephen Elliott. The film stars Xavier Samuel as a young groom heading to the Australian Blue Mountains with his 3 best men for his wedding, and her final film role would be with Paul Hogan in the very excellent Mr. Dundee. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check the links below for Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter merchandise. What was your favorite Olivia Newton John movie? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, live long and prosper, may the force be with you and keep reaching for the stars.